Halfass Homestead, I toil day by day, planting seeds in the soil, hoping they'll find their way. With the rusty old tractor and the trusty old mule, I keep this place running, trying to play it cool. I'm maintaining my Halfass Homestead where the bluegrass grows, working the land with my hands, that's how it goes. Though it ain't fancy, it's the life for me, living off the land, happy and free.
Hey guys, how we doing? Reverend Dream, did you get my album, David? Hope you did, brother. Gina, how you doing tonight? Hey, so I'm gonna start right off with another topic on this one. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a group called Guerrilla Publishing, but they have a video out from Oklahoma. It's called "The Most Corrupt Cop in America," and I'm doing good, right, Gina? Thank you. The most corrupt cop. Hi, Lynn. How we doing? Most corrupt cop in America, from Guerrilla Publishing. I mean, I almost missed my life because I was getting wrapped up in this like documentary they were doing. Oh my God! You're not talking about just a corrupt cop. You're talking about a whole corrupt town. They actually wanted to go back and sue Guerrilla Publishing. I'm like, are you serious? What's wrong with you? You know? Answer the questions of what's being asked of you. You know, you got a police chief who has a court order that says he's not allowed to carry a gun. If you get a chance, go look it up. It's called Guerrilla Publishing, Most Corrupt Cop in America. And it's wild. It is wild. I mean, this guy has everybody on his side, the mayor included, and he's not supposed to have a gun. There's a cop, which means he can't have the job. Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of places like that, Greg and Gina. Fortunately, I don't live in one of those, but yeah, I'm sure there are. Yeah, speaking of places I live, this is kind of weird. So last week, I had a person stop by my house, and they said, "Hey, we're having a whole town-wide garage sale next Saturday, and if you want to get invested into it, it's $5." And I said, "Yeah, I don't know." Well, then I went and I looked that person up, and I went over and I gave him $5. I said, "All right, yeah, put us on the map for garage sale places on your map." You know, I mean, they actually have, I don't know where they do it, but they have a map that they hand out all over town where it says, okay, well, this is where all the garage sales are going on today. They didn't bring any of them, which I wish they would have, but they didn't. But they give them out, I guess, and they put a listing in the paper for it and whatnot. And it was 9 to 4, rain or shine. So I got up this morning with full intent of saying, hey, we'll just set some stuff out there, you know, see how it works. A lot of stuff to get rid of. And I went out. I fed my chickens. I made sure their water was still working and stuff. I collected the eggs. And just walking from my front door over to the chicken coop and back again, my feet were totally drenched. It rained all night long. So I sat on my front porch. This was like 7:45 this morning, I believe. Sitting out there on my front porch drinking my coffee, and I thought about it. And Leah comes out and she says, "You gonna set it up?" I was like, "No, I'm not. Actually, I don't like being totally wet." And I looked at my phone. You know, I have weather bugs, so I looked at my phone and it said rain in 15 minutes. And I told her, I says, "Yeah, I'm not even gonna set up. If you want to open the seed house up, I can take the oak flag out, hang it on the side of the building. And if anybody stops by that wants to buy seeds or whatever, you know, here's a cash bag with some ones and whatnot in it. And you know, you can sell seeds out of the seed house if you want, but I'm not setting up a garage sale or a yard sale because my yard, first of all, needs to be mowed. It's been raining every day for the last week. So the grass is a little bit on the tall side. It's holding water terrible. And I was like, yeah, I'm not setting up. If it's going to rain in 15 minutes, it makes no sense to go in and out of the house, tracking water in and out of the house, raising the humidity up in the house is like it's not high enough already. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just not going to do it. Here we are now at 8 o'clock at night. 12 hours later, and it has not sprinkled a freaking drop all day long. I'm like, are you serious? It's just like, well, what about the garage sale? Just, you know what? I gave them the $5. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that I can pick another day on a weekend where it's not going to rain at all the whole weekend. Go out, get it all set up during the week, so I'm ready for it. Have the lawn mowed and get it all set up, and then we just open it up on, like, say, Saturday, maybe Sunday or whatever, and do a whole weekend garage sale that way, where we know there is no chance of rain, and we sell stuff or we don't sell stuff. Actually, most of the stuff I have isn't items you're going to find in the yard sale anyway. I've got a lot of really big ticket items that would be stuff that you would find, say, Facebook Marketplace. I can list stuff on Facebook Marketplace all day long, so that's probably the route I'm going to be playing with most of the big ticket items. The small ticket items, I mean, I got brand new shoes. Before I got injured 3 years ago, I went out and bought a lot of brand new work boots and stuff like that I can't even wear today. So things like that I can put in the garage sale, but you're talking, Bates work boots. Those things are $85 a pair. I'm not going to put them out there for $5. They're brand new. They've never been worn. They were taken out of the box. They were ready to be worn the next week going to work, and I never went to work again. So stuff like that, that's a Facebook Marketplace item. Or maybe an eBay item. That's not an item that you want to take out and put it in a garage sale for, $5 or less. I'm sorry, But yeah, so I sat back and I was just like, yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter. There's other weekends throughout the year. I like to go camping, especially on really nice weekends and stuff. But I haven't seen my truck in 2 months, maybe a little bit longer. It's been in the garage getting work done. The motor's being rebuilt total from, like, bottom up. And they had to do some exhaust work, and they had to do this, do that. And I don't even know what the situation on my truck is. So I don't have the ability to say, okay, next weekend, hon, it's supposed to be really nice out. Let's hook on the camper and let's go hang out at the campground or whatever. And that'll be a weekend. I'll just say, okay, well, why don't we just not go camping? Because we can't take camper with us, and I'm not going to go pitch a tent, and we'll have our garage sale that weekend, and then just post some listings or whatever. Facebook Marketplace is a great place to list things, and maybe like the local paper or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. We're on a pretty busy highway, so if I put a yard sale sign up, people will stop. There's no doubt about that. And because we have the seed business, the seed house right out in our driveway, people are always looking in this direction when they drive by anyway. So if we put a yard sale out there, we probably don't even need to put a sign up. Put some stuff out there on tables, and when it's not raining, uncover the tables, and hey, people will know we got stuff out there for sale. It's pretty obvious. But yeah, I don't know. It's been one of them weird kind of deals, I will say this: the wolf urine that I've got has stopped all things from hitting the chickens. We still have 10 chickens, which is awesome. We changed our food. We're no longer feeding them the Producer's Pride from, Tractor Supply. We're no longer feeding them that. We're feeding them Hen House Reserve from Cambuck Foods. I was able to buy that through Chewy. And we also have some different crumbles that we were able to get from Walmart.com, which was kind of weird, Who'd have thought you get your chicken feed from Walmart? Although that's the first place I got to come hen house reserve was I bought a bag of it from over there. Greg and Gina, if you want to buy a camper, I'm going to be honest with you. Don't buy a brand new one. Do not buy a brand new one. The minute you pull that thing off the lot, it's worth not only but half of what you just paid for it. Seriously. Not even half. Our little 18-foot Coachman Cadet, I believe, something like that. That was $20,000 at the lot. And when we pulled it off the lot, we took camping and stuff. I went back to the dealership and said, well, it's pretty small for us. What if we wanted to get a bigger one? What's our trade-in value on it? We would only use it for maybe a month. We didn't use it every weekend, but we probably owned it for about a month. I said, what's the trade-in value on it? They told us it was $10,000 trade-in value. And I was like, what? I'm not losing $10,000 in 30 days. You know what I'm saying? So I told Lee, I said, well, I thought about trading it in, getting a bigger one, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep what we got. You know, it's not big by any means. There's the two of us. Like being in an 18-foot camper, when you walk into the door's towards the rear, you walk in the door, there's a bathroom right there on your left. As you come in and turn the corner to go down the alleyway through the kitchen, or what they call the alleyway, you walk in, there's not room for you to walk around somebody else that's already standing in that area. You just can't do it. So you walk in, you sit down at the dining room table, you have them move out of the way, you stand back up, you walk past them, and then they come back in, finish doing what they're doing or whatever. And, of course, right after the bathroom, you got a stove. And right after the stove, and you got a sink. And then right after the sink, you got your refrigerator. And after your refrigerator, you got a bed. That's all there is. It's got a lot of storage. I'll give them a lot of credit for that. That's the reason why we got it. We had a fold down, which had a lot more walking around room in it, but it didn't have the storage we were looking for. This 18-footer does have a lot of storage, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I would get something used. I seriously would. If you're looking to get a camper, definitely buy something used. And there's a lot of people out there that, you know, have done what I want to do. You know, set the camper up on a lot. Live in the camper as you got time to go work on your land, so you got a place to rest your head and be dry and cook food or whatever, and get your homestead set up. And then, you know, now you're not using the camper anymore. I mean, I'm not like the kind of people that would be like White Rock Homestead. I know Jason and Tara, they've got the Nugget, but they've also got a big fifth wheel. And they use the Nugget all the time. He's got his Aunt Swami living in there now. I believe that's her name. And he told her, he says, you can move in here and stay in here as long as you want, but don't get comfortable, because if something comes up, you're going to have to move out of here and go live with the kids in the fifth wheel. Well, we're taking the Nugget with us because we're not going to live in a tent. And that may be the situation for me too. You know, as a weekend deal, an 18-foot trailer is an awesome little trailer. Jason and Tara's trailer is more like probably a 23-foot trailer, I think, something like that. The Nugget. And for me, that would be the better size to take. Now, for me, I can't imagine, you know, doing like Mike and Lissa were doing. And granted, they've got more walk-around room because they've got the tip-outs in their camper or whatever. But you got 5 people living in a camper. And the same thing happened with Greg and Melanie over there at Simple Life Reclaimed. 5 people living in a camper. Anthony and Roxanne, 3 people in a camper. That's pushing your luck a little bit, I think. I think 2 in a camper would be cramped. But, you know, I mean, to each his own, you know. For me, you know, I see these guys doing the what they call the shelves, to shed the house. My seed house is in a house. It was a 14 by 34 shed that we bought and had to go in, do the electrical and everything for it. We don't have any plumbing in there. It's all just electrical and, lighting and flooring and walls and insulation and all that stuff. We're in New York. So you got to have all of the insulation you can get. And I can't imagine taking something like that and trying to turn it into a house. I can't imagine taking something like that to build another seed house, because there's no way, if we move, we decide we're taking the business with us because we can't find a buyer, we can put that into another house on the property where we buy and ready to move to. I can foresee that being an option. But as far as for living quarters for the two of us, especially with an 18-foot camper going, yeah, that's pretty crowded. And, yeah, the camper's got the bathroom. Yes, it's got a bedroom. Yes, it's got a dining room kind of table. And it's got everything you'd possibly need to put into a house for a small house, like a tiny house. But if you watch like South Texas Roots, Jared's house is only 600 square feet. It's not a huge house. His bedroom's 10 by 10. And, he's got laundry area and all that. Hi, Charlene, how we doing? He's got like a 10 by 10 bedroom with a little laundry area off to the side of that. That's now his temporary small kitchen. And then he's got a pretty good sized bathroom. Not huge, but pretty good sized bathroom. A walkabout closet, not really a walk-in closet, but a walkabout closet. And for a single person, that's awesome. But for two people, I live in a 2,000 square foot 1900s farmhouse. And Leah pretty much has taken over downstairs. We got the laundry down here, and we got a bathroom down here in the kitchen and dining room and all that stuff. But upstairs was like a rural apartment when we bought the property. I removed the kitchen for the most part. I didn't take any cabinets out. I didn't take any countertops out because right now that's my office area. It's also the center of our construction zone. So there's tools everywhere, and flat surfaces always collect the most, odd and end things, to the point where I've got tables in that area. I got a big desk for my computer system. I've got a table for my laser engraver in that room and whatnot. And then what used to be the living room is now my music room. And what used to be the bedroom is now my print shop. And I've got a really big bathroom. I mean, my bathroom is huge. In there, I've got a corner shower, a really long vanity with some storage cabinets above and below. And then on the other end of it, beyond the toilet, there's like a sauna, a two-person electronic sauna. And so it's like the whole upstairs is taken up pretty much by just me with my office and the print shop. And then downstairs is pretty much all taken up with the living room, the bedroom. We got a big dining room, a really good sized kitchen. I mean, I think we got 32 cabinets in our kitchen, and every one of them's full. And then as you go down the hallway, you got a bathroom, you got a laundry room, and then you got another bedroom downstairs, which right now is in the process of being changed back into a bedroom for family because we got a wedding coming up pretty soon, and people coming in from out of state to be here for the wedding that want to come and stay at our house rather than stay over there in their spare bedroom because they're going to be on their honeymoon. Why would you want to stay at the groom's house when they're all gone on a honeymoon? No, I have never watched Cole the Cornstalk. Not sure who Cole is, but no, I've never watched that one. But yeah, I shared pictures here before of it. I designed my own house. It's 24 by 40. The bedroom, the master bedroom, is 15 by 15. You got a nice sized bathroom, built-in laundry area, under the stairs. I'm planning on having it go up into a loft area where there's another bedroom up there. So if somebody needs a place to stay, there's an extra bedroom separate from ours. With a big walk-in closet, a built-in pantry, a huge kitchen, because I like my kitchen. And then living space, And for us, a 24 by 40, that's, a pretty good space. That's a pretty good space. 12 by 12 is 144 square feet. So 24 by 12 is 288. And then you're going 40 feet long. So you do the math, and it actually works out to be about 1,000 square foot. I will make note of that, Lynn, and I will. Speaking of checking people out, anybody here not yet heard of the Black Sheep Project? That channel, I mean, they got a lot of friends in Arkansas, and they've been helping them out. But that right now is probably the fastest channel growing on YouTube. They've only been doing it for, God, I think maybe 11 days. And they're already over 2,000 subscribers. Yeah, I designed the shirt myself, Janet. Trump 2024, Take America Back Again. And then Leah went out and got a bunch of Trump 2024 flags. And with that order, because they didn't have enough flags to fill the order, they threw this hat in with it. Of course, let me do it this way. When you see it printed on a bill of a hat, that means the hat was made in China. Because it's not printed underneath the bottom of the hat. So that means it's embroidered first, put together after. Same thing with this side over here. You got the A that's on the hat. So the hat was actually embroidered first and then sewn together as a hat. Anytime you see a hat that's done that way, you'll know it's done. Yeah, the Black Sheep Project, those guys are awesome. I mean, Micah and Liz have got it together, and they're working hard. I mean, literally, they have had like working with Wiley over there, our mountain home. They were over there helping them to put in a ditch. I believe it was for water or electric. I'm not sure which. Right now it's full of water, so I'm hoping it's for water line. I wouldn't want my electric sitting in a water hole. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's insulated wire. As long as you don't break the wire, you're good. But yeah, Wiley went over there and dug the ditch, took all the excess water out of one spot of it for them. Micah let all the kids go out and, collect all the lily pads and stuff out of there or whatever. And it was a cool video. They just did a quick one today for clearing the land of back when they first bought the property. Now, mind you, they've only been in Arkansas since December. So they haven't been there very long. And Micah was out on contract, so he hasn't been there much at all. So it's been mainly just Liz and the kids building the homestead up. And it's just a cool family. And if you haven't checked them out, please do. I've watched every one of their videos so far, and Micah's my kind of guy, straight up. He's my kind of guy. I was in Arkansas right now, we'd probably be really good friends, and I'd be over there trying to help him all the time if I didn't have other projects of my own working on. And I foresee there will be a near future where Gary and Mary will be over there and working with them as well. I mean, once you get Wiley and his wife Jen over there on the property, it's a given. You're gonna get the rest of the people that are in the community over there helping you as well. So if you got a project going on and you need a hand, you've already got your foot in the community. And I just enjoy that kind of stuff. For me, I don't want people there that I need to rely on. I want people there that I can fall back on to, so that if I did need help with something, there'd be somebody available that I could ask. They can always say no. Will they say no? You never know. But hi, Arlene, how we doing? It's one of them issues where I've always been of that belief is if you ask people for help and they turn you down, that doesn't mean they aren't willing to give you a hand now and then. It means that they have something else already planned at the time and date that you plan on doing what you're doing. But if you make yourself available to them, and then later on down the road, you ask them again, there's going to be a really good chance they're going to say, yeah, I'll help. You know, I know myself. I've had people, hey, can you come over and do this today? No, I can't. If you want to do it on Saturday, I can come over and do it, but I can't do it today. You know, it's just the way it works. Now, I'm kind of laughing about Anthony and David. You know, I felt bad for them. Actually, they drove all the way to Fort Smith from Havana to pick up David's new Harley. And they get over there to find out, yeah, the Harley shop went all the way through it, but there's a problem with it now that they weren't told about when they were supposed to go pick it up. Yeah, your bike's ready. They had to reschedule the trip again for the next day, which was today, actually, this morning. To go pick the bike up, David's new bike, and because Anthony has his motorcycle license and has been riding it for years, and David's got his motorcycle license, but he hasn't ridden for years, and he doesn't have an Arkansas license. He couldn't just go get it and drive it home. And, you know, he's not used to riding, so he wants to get used to the bike again. I was like, man, that would suck. You know, a trip for David and Anthony from Havana to Fort Smith and back again is a well over 2 hour drive. You know, we went right to the edge of Arkansas, or Oklahoma rather. And then they have to go back the next day and do that same trip again. It's like, wow, I can't believe it. You know, I understand David's point of view. If it was my bike, I would say, yeah, no, I don't want you to ride it back for me. What I want to do is I want you to help me load it onto the trailer. We'll trailer it back. Just because it would be my bike, and I don't. If anybody's going to crash it, I want to be the first one. Not that I'm saying Anthony would crash it, but that's my opinion. Is I would want to trailer it back, and then just kind of, you know, like David said, putt around in the country roads where you don't have to worry about a license too much. Get used to the bike, and then go get your license and go get everything taken care of. And that was another part. Poor David. He went down to take the license for his take the test for his motorcycle permit. To find out when he got to the DMV, you have to schedule that appointment. And he's like, what? I've gone to Queens, New York, which is a big friggin' city. And I didn't have to make appointments for anything I've ever done there. Now, I didn't go there to get my permit, but I've done the written test. You just walk in, they put you into a room that has glass around it, so you're not distracted by all the other noise in the area because there's a lot. And you sit down and you do the test. You're not allowed to talk to anybody or pull out your phone or anything. They take the test. But you go in, you pay the money, you take the written test, you get your paperwork gathered up, you go over, you stand in line, you turn it into the processor. They say, okay, great, here's your temporary permit. Now you have permission to drive. Now you have to get so many hours driving. And then you go back and you do your road test. The road test part and the 5 hour class, those are things you have to schedule for. But to take the written test, never. Never. Actually, I'll give you a good story. This is really kind of ironic. I bought a van. And I bought the van, I believe it was on Facebook Marketplace, but it might have been on eBay. I'm not real sure. It could have been on eBay. Hey, Brett, how we doing? So I make the arrangement to buy this van. Got to meet this guy in Queens. So I fly out to Queens. I left my house, I think it was 3:30 in the morning. Took a cab to Syracuse Airport, which is a 40-minute drive from my house. I was there an hour and a half early, so I hung out at the airport, got on the plane, flew whatever time it took to get to Queens, left the airport, took a cab from the airport to the DMV, met with the guy that had the van, and he gave me all the keys to the van while he's pulling the license plates off, which is actually pretty smart. Behind every license plate, you got two in New York, but behind both license plates, he had an extra ignition key and door key taped to the back of the license plate, and then the license plate was screwed onto the bracket. So there was extra, I think about 5 keys with the van. And so I got the keys and everything else, and he kept his plates. And I went right into DMV. You know, he dropped the van off right outside of DMV on the side of the road. No plates, no nothing on it. I go into DMV, and when I first get in there, I'm like, whoa, you have to go to line, go in and grab all your paperwork. And then when you grab all your paperwork, you go back to a table and you fill all your paperwork out. Then you get back in line and you go up and you pick a number. Once you have your number, you go back and you sit down. Now we're talking a place that has, God, I think there was probably 400 people there when I was there. When I picked my number, I was number 843, and I was there super early in the morning. Like they opened at 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And I was like, okay, wow, got it. So I got my number and I got it. Hey, bro, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I don't need a lot of land. I don't. I'm on 0.59 acres right now. I'd like to go about an acre. I'd go bigger, but I'd like to go at least an acre, just because, you know. So I go in there and I get the number and I sit down and look at the number and go, dang, I'm way up there. And of course, they're calling them one at a time, and there's probably, I don't know, 7 windows open. And when you get up to the window, the first thing that you see is this really big sign that's over top of all the windows. It says, when you get to the window, do not have your cell phone turned on. Because if your cell phone rings or somebody sends you a message or anything like that that requires you to pull your phone out while you're standing in line, you have to go back to the other line, get another number, and start all over again. So I was like, oh, geez, I seen that sign. I shut my phone right off. I was like, yeah, I'm not having that on me. Not turned on. And all the time I sat there waiting, and it was a good long time, a real good long time. Everybody in that waiting room was on their phones, and they were texting, and they were talking, and they were this, and they were that. It was really noisy. The whole place was like huge, like I said. And so I could finally make it up to the window. I've got my bill of sale, a copy of the cashier's check for the van and all that. They would not accept the cashier's check copy. They would not accept the bill of sale copy. They went to Kelly Blue Book and ran the year, make, model, mileage. And I had to pay New York State sales tax based on whatever that amount was, which was a hell of a lot more than what I paid for that van. A hell of a lot more. I paid, I think it was $1,500 for the van, and along with a round trip ticket in case I got there, didn't like it, I could just get back on the plane and fly back home. But I decided I was going to get the van anyway, and I went there with a lot of cash on me and stuff. I mean, I was all set to go, and I did that for a reason. My first thought was, well, if it doesn't have winter tires on it and it starts snowing before I get out of Queens, I'm going to find a home store and I'm going to back up to the loading dock and get like a pallet of, dirt, something to put in the back of the van for road weight, because it had summer tires on it. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. But after I got all done with all that, I mean, we're pushing, I think it was 2:30 in the afternoon when I left the Queens DMV. I went out. Well, thankfully, the guy I bought the van from left the screwdriver he took the plates off with, so I put new plates onto the van. And I put the new plates onto the van. Yeah, I'm not a draw a blueprint kind of guy either, but I do plans. By all means, I do plans. If I want to build something, I know exactly what I want to build before I build it. That way I have an idea of what I'm going to need for materials. So I go out, I put the plates on the van, I get in, I put the key in the ignition, I start the van up, and I'm looking at the instrument panel, and he left me with like absolutely no gas. In the middle of New York City, in Queens, he left me with no gas. And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. So I shut the van off, I get out, and I see a cop parked on the side of the road. Apparently, he'd been over there watching the vehicles that were all sitting there with no plates on them for a while. So I walked up to the officer and I said, sir, I'm not from around here at all. I just bought this van, and the guy left me with no gas in it. Where is the closest gas station from here, and how do I find it? And so he gave me directions to the gas station. It was only 2-3 blocks. I was like, all right, great. I got a lot of money. I'm good. So I get in the van, pull off from the curb, and I drive over to that gas station. Attendant comes out. You're not in New York City. You're not allowed to pump your own gas. So the attendant comes out and he says, all right. He says, well, how can I help you? And I says, yeah, fill it up, regular low test. Just bought the vehicle. I don't know what it's going to do. And he starts pumping the gas. And he barely got started and he stopped and he put the pump away and he comes in and he says, $20. I says, no way, you could not have filled this van for $20. And he says, no, I can't fill the van. Actually, I can't put any more gas in it. I was like, why not? He says, you got a gas leak. My feet were getting wet. I was like, are you serious? So I looked down. I don't even have maybe a quarter tank. I'm like, yeah, okay, great. Now I have to leave there, go across the bridge to New Jersey. I get across the bridge to New Jersey to find out that there you're not allowed to pump your own gas either. And so I get over there. I pull up to the pump. Tenant comes out. How can I help you? I want to put $10 worth of gas in the van. Okay. You put like 5 in and he stops. I was like, well, what's up? He says, yeah, you got a leak. I can't put any more gas in your vehicle. It's dripping on my parking lot. All right. Paid for the gas. I'm back to almost the same quarter tank again. I said, all right, we got it. I drove that van from there all the way into New York, get to a pump where I could pump my own. And when I started pumping the gas, I could smell it. But I was pumping the gas, and I kept looking under the van and looking under the van. And I was like, okay, wow, this isn't going to go well. And so I get the point where I got a little better than half a tank of gas. This is all right, that's cool. That'll get me to the next town over. So I go to the next town over, and I brought it back up to about another half a tank. And from that town, I made it the rest of the way home. We're talking a 5-hour drive. Okay, I make it all the way back home. And my nephew came over to check out the van because he's the kind of guy that's like, oh, cool, you got a van. I want to check it out. And he's like, oh, you got a rust hole over here. I can fix that. And I says, yeah, that's not the only problem I got, brother. That rust hole is okay. I can deal with the rust hole. But what I can't deal with is this leaking gas. So he got underneath the van. He looked at it. He says, oh. I was like, what? He says, your filler tube's rotted right off, right at the gas cap. He says, so was they ever putting gas into it? The filler tube would fill up with gas before it made it into the tank. It would separate and it would dump it onto the ground. All right, fine. He says, I can fix that for you. All right, let's do it. So we take it over to his shop. $4,000 later, I got my van back. Well, it was in his shop. We needed to do a tune-up. He broke a spark plug, and it was the worst spark plug to break. There was no room to get in there and maneuver. And I actually had to get in there and take the broken one out and then go in and put the new one in because it was like a really super tight corner. You had to do 2 of those, we used to call them knuckle buster angles for the ratchet up into that area. But you had to put the socket on first and then put the knuckle buster into the socket and then the other knuckle buster into that knuckle buster and then the ratchet wrench onto the first, second knuckle buster and then ratchet it loose and then take it all apart again, take the socket off the spark plug to get the spark plug out and then reverse that whole process to put the new one in. And while I was working on all that, he was at the front of the motor doing the other spark plugs and his elbow hit the radiator. And he stopped and he says, hey, Dave. What, Jimmy? And he's like, well, Dave, I hate to say this, but your radiator is shot. And I was like, what? And he says, yeah. He says, come here, look at this. He took the top bracket off the radiator, didn't disconnect any of the bottom brackets, just reached in, grabbed the radiator, and picked the whole top half of the radiator out of the van and set it on the floor. I was like, what? I just drove this thing for 5 hours from Queens with that radiator in it and never had an issue. And I get here to do it, and now I've got an issue. Because you know what, you might as well fix the hole while we got it here. So that little hole that was in the side of it, it was probably maybe the diameter of like a 3-pound coffee can. Led into where outside of the van had the hole, but it went to the inside of the van and it got up into the roof of the van, and then it ran down both sides inside the floor of the van. So he had to go in and cut the whole floor out of the van, put a whole new floor in, weld it into place, redo the inside, redo the outside, cleaned it all up, got it all repainted, everything else. Of course, while he's working on my van, he's pulling it out of the garage and working on other people's vehicles too, because my money's there, but it's not steady. And he needed the income coming in to be able to keep working. I finally got it all redone, and my brother and I were going to start a business called Moffett Brothers, going in remodeling houses and stuff. And that's why I bought it, this 1-ton van. And my brother's health went downhill right after I got it all done. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. It actually got so bad that my brother had to move in with me, and I became his primary caregiver or provider, and all that. And it was like, wow, that was an awful lot of work on something that was for a special cause that isn't going to happen. And after he passed away, the seed business really took off, and that's when Leah and I met. And I told Leah, I says, this seed business is taking over the whole house. I'm going to go run a trailer out in McLean so I can get away from this part. You can stay here and run the seed business, and when people come here that are employees to pick stuff up, you be the person that stays here and make sure they don't take too much, and write down what they take, and I can order more or whatever. And that didn't last very long. She wanted to see the trailer, and I took her over, and I picked the van over, and it just happened to be snowing really bad. And when it was snowing, I had about 3/4 of a ton of salt in the back of the van for weight. And as I'm taking it over to McLean, the snow had gotten so bad, the wind was bad, I could barely see the road. I'm driving a white van in a big snowstorm. Could barely see the road. There was cars off the road everywhere you look. And I was sliding like crazy. I finally got it up to where the landlord's house was for the trailer, and backed the van into the driveway. And I went into his house and I said, hey, Roger, I need you to do me a favor. And he says, what? He says, I'm not driving that van back to Cortland. I need a ride. I said, these roads are nastier than crap. That van does not hold the road in the wintertime. It's got a lot of salt in the back. I just need a ride. And so Lee and I got it in his truck, and he was to ride back to Cortland. And I was like, okay, well, now I'm driving my Lincoln Navigator, Cortland to McLean where the trailer was. And that was my 4-wheel drive transportation winter tank. And I was like, all right, well, that's cool. Leave the van sitting over there. It's not a big issue. And of course, Roger and Darla, our landlords, they had a water softener. And he called me up one day and he says, hey, we're running low on salt. And I need to know if that salt in the back of the van is something I can use in my water softener. And I was like, dude, there's a half a ton or better of that back there. I mean, it's probably closer to a ton. Help yourself. I mean, it is water softener salt. And so he ended up using all the salt out of the van, keep the water softener going and stuff, and using it to salt his driveway, which I didn't agree with at all, because hey, if you want to put salt on your driveway, you can buy what's called rock salt. It's like really dirt cheap. Water softener salt is not, because it's purified. And he was using my water softener salt, taking the bags down to his barn, dropping the bags open on the floor, and then beating them down with the end of a maul, shoveling them back up and spreading it around the driveway to get rid of the ice in the driveway, which was okay with me for a part because, part of that driveway is on my driveway. But I was like, man, you could have bought rock salt a lot cheaper than that. Yeah, but I don't want to drive on the roads. Well, I don't either, I can understand that. I was bringing salt over for the water softener in the back of my Lincoln for a while. Not that it needed it for weight, but it was just like, hey, I'm going by a store that sells it, and it's pretty cheap over here compared to what you're paying. But yeah, I mean, it was just like, wow, one of them games. And after a while, I told Leah, I said, I bought this van for this purpose. I put a lot of money into it. I was up to like, I think $5,500 or $6,000 into the van. It wasn't going to be used for what I bought it for. It wasn't something we were going to ever use for something that we were going to do. And I was like, I'll just put it up for sale. And I put the price down really cheap. I think I went $2,500 on it. Put it out in the front yard over there at the trailer and just let it sit out there. I got a couple good bites on it because it was a 1-ton van. Where's Peter, Old Man King Homestead? He's probably moving into Jeff's old house right about now. Because I believe Jeff is totally moved out, and that means Peter can get totally moved in. So that would be my guess. That would probably be where Peter's hanging out. But Brett, I can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee that at all. So I had it out there for sale for a long time. We kept moving its mow under it, moving it back up next to the road. And there was an accident right next to it. And I was like, yeah, let's just get rid of it, really dump this thing. And I put it on Facebook Marketplace, $1,000 firm. And a person that used to work for me came over, looked at it, and gave me $1,000. Said, I'm buying it. Okay, here you go. You can't listen to me talk forever, brother. And wait a minute. And you were asking about where's Peter? Does Peter not talk? He's from New York too, Oh, you're making him wait 2 more months. Why 2 months? I thought Jeff was all moved out, bro. I think it was just a few small items like knickknacks and stuff you had to go back and get after they got done with that last move with David and working with Wiley and all that, and Drew. I don't know. That's what I gathered from his video. Oh, you could listen to me talk forever. All right, good. You got Peter there, so I know he keeps talking. Yeah, you can come to join my life. Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that at all, bro. If he's got his camera set up, we'll bring him right in as a guest host. We got 11 minutes left, so if he wants to join in, he's good. Floors need fixed. Wow, really? I did not see that coming. See, if I was there, I'd be offering to help him do that because that's kind of one of my specialties. Okay, go out and yell at him. Tell him I sent you. If he doesn't hurry up, he's going to get spanked. Yeah, so I've been working on this house, as I've been saying, and right now everything's got put on hold. The seed business doesn't support the payroll. So my worker, Jimmy, who's been the one helping me do all the remodeling and stuff, I can't afford to pay him to work for me right now. So that's relying on just me to do it. And I'm very limited on what I can do at this time. If I'm doing some things, I'm good at it, and I don't have an issue with it. But things like, in this case, Peter's flooring, if I had to be down on my knees, I probably would have to have something to help me stand back up. And by that time, I'm not walking because my foot won't let me walk. messed up deal with having a broken heel and not healing properly and all that stuff. So I've done my best with what I can do, and I know my limitations, and I'm not going to stop by any means, but I'm also not going to be rushing to get these things completed. Well, Lynn, did you find my voice soothing? I guess maybe I should be a 911 operator. I don't know. I don't think my voice is very soothing, but if you think it is, maybe I should look into that. That's a job I could do. I could sit at a desk and gab at people all day long. It's better than talking to them on the phone all day, right? Okay, please stay on the line until the officers show up. Yeah, officers, this is 911. Hurry up. I can't stand this person on the phone. Okay, ETA is 30 seconds out. They'll be right there knocking on your door. You have a good night now. All right, you're going to have to step on it. Yeah, I don't think that'll be a good job for me. I don't like talking on the phone down. I talk to my mom every day, and it's always like, okay, are we done yet? Are we done yet? Are we done yet? All right, yep, love you, Mom. Yep, okay, yep, I'll see you next time. Yep. All right, yep, bye-bye for now. Okay, yes, I will. All right, yep, That conversation will go on for 40 minutes longer from the time I'm ready to say goodbye. And it's like, wow, how long did that have to go on for? And it's all over, hey, when can you take me shopping? Let me look at the calendar. Yeah, I'm pretty good next Tuesday. You want to do Tuesday? Okay, great. I'll see you next Tuesday. All right, yeah, all right. Bye-bye for now. Oh, yeah, okay, yep, all right, bye-bye. Well, okay. And then it goes to voicemail. Wow, are you serious, Greg and Gina? Wow. All right, well, Brett, we're gonna give him the last 7 minutes to give him a chance. But if he comes over, he comes over. If he doesn't, he doesn't. You know, it's up to him. I'm not gonna hold my hand. Oh, Peter, how we doing? I guess he's all done with double dogs right now, or he's just jumping in to pay tribute. Peter, if you want to join in, get your mic set up, come into the green room. I'm going to send you a link right here, right now. There you go, brother. So, Brett, I have to ask, who's Devil Dog? That's not a name I'm familiar with. There he is. All right, guys, we're bringing in Peter. Here we go. How we doing, Peter?
David.
So, are you excited about ready to move in or no?
Well, I'm starting to prepare. It's going to be a while. But I've been over there measuring up the porch to get ready to build the catio. I've got almost everything I need to build that now.
That's cool.
I've got a plan for the fencing for the chickens.
What's up with the flooring repair?
What's that?
What's up with the flooring repair you need to do?
The floor is buckled in the living room, in the kitchen. So that's got to be repaired.
Okay. So, Peter, who is Devil Dog?
Devil Dog is Eddie. He lives in Dayton, Texas. I don't know how to describe him. You just got to know him to know him.
All right, now I've got another question for you. You're from New York. What part of New York did you live in when you lived in New York?
East of Lake Ontario.
Lake Ontario. Okay, so you were up north.
Yeah, about the last place I was about 30 miles north of Syracuse. And I grew up about 45, 50 miles north of Syracuse.
All right, I'm about 30 miles below Syracuse right now.
So we weren't too far apart.
No, I'm in Cortland County.
Yep, I've been through Cortland quite a few times.
All right. All right, so now I got another question for you. When you lived in New York and you were working, what kind of work did you do?
Well, I did a variety of work, but for probably 80% of it was commercial cleaning. I
Okay.
started out cleaning at the school that I graduated from. And then there's another school district I worked at a little bit. And then I cleaned a fitness center for quite a few years. And I also worked as a truck driver for a while for White's Lumber. I don't know if you've ever heard of them or not. They're based in Watertown.
Yep, I've heard of them.
Yeah, worked for them for a little while. Wasn't the best company to work for back then. Delivered auto parts for Napa. I'd, taxi driver. And most recently, I worked at a convenience store / truck stop.
Okay. I actually am familiar with the Watertown area quite well. I used to hang out in Watertown and Lowville a lot. I actually had a girlfriend who lived in Lowville for a while.
Yeah, I used to do quite a little shopping in Watertown. My mom and dad always preferred Watertown to shop in if they're going to one of the bigger stores, which were grocery shopping and stuff. We did that locally. But if we're going to go to the mall or Kmart or a place like that, usually went to Watertown.
All right. Well, that's a lot better than going to Syracuse.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been to the Great American Mall in Syracuse. I was not impressed at all.
Syracuse is not a city you should be spending time in. I'll just put it that way.
All right. Very blue area. All right. Well, Peter, it's 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna call this one a night because we have Gillum Farms coming on next. I don't want to infringe on their time, but thank you for coming on. I'm on here every Saturday night if you want to join me again. I started at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7C. You're welcome to come join me anytime you want, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, everybody have a good weekend. We'll catch you all later.
Okay, have a good